Welcome to the channel, guys. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then you gotta you gotta click on that subscribe button, and give us a like if you think this is of some value, and we shall get going immediately. Where's my mouse? All right, here we are. Does the proof of fund get locked after AOR? First of all, proof of funds is not a variable factor to get locked or not get locked. IELTS is a variable factor in terms like it expires. Proof of funds do not really expire as such. At the time you're submitting your applications, I recommend that your proof of funds are within the 30 days. The document issue dates are within the 30 days. If you are referring to the fluctuations in the currency, well, different people have different things that they have said. Some people say that it is fixed at AOR. Some people say that it is linked to the quarterly rate of exchange rate that the Bank of Canada issues. I personally, again, opinion, and the opinion is based on the several GCMS notes that we have read, we have seen as to how IRCC has assessed their proof of funds. In most cases, IRCC will go back and refer to the exchange rate mentioned in the bank's letter, or the Canadian equivalency mentioned in the bank's letter. So if your bank is willing to mention a Canadian equivalency based on the exchange rate, usually Canada will accept that. Otherwise, they may, on the day they are assessing your proof of funds, on that day, they will check whatever is the exchange rate. They will probably link it to that. You still don't need to worry and think, okay, if your proof of fund amount has decreased because of the exchange rate fluctuation. In most cases, you will be able to update the funds, give them, additional documents. They might ask you for it. They're not going to outright refuse your application because of that. There is also another school of thought which says that quarterly exchange rate, the Bank of Canada exchange rate calculations are taken into consideration, because it's not possible for them to keep checking exchange rate every single day for nearly 200 countries, keep updating something and then calculating and then saying, okay, this is what it should be. It seems like too much of an effort and too much of work. So, recommendation: if you are submitting your PR application, take a printout or a screenshot of the exchange rate applicable on the date you're submitting your PR application, Bank of Canada exchange rate, or your own country's Reserve Bank or a state bank exchange rate on that particular date. Give the equivalent Canadian amount, and then that should pretty much help you, lock your account or lock your proof of fund for your application. I hope that helps. Meher says, do you see any possibility of border restrictions even further? Well, to be very honest, I did not see this coming at all. I did not expect 21st September to have been that the flight bans would be extended until the 21st of September. Border restrictions is always done to protect the citizens, the residents of the country. That's probably the reason why it's being done. If you see certain other countries, like for example, Australia, New Zealand, the minute they have realized that the numbers are going out of hand, they have come down with more lockdowns, more restrictions. England, UK has also been similar to that. They have continued to ease and again put in force the restrictions. I don't think Canada is alien to that as well. If at all they find that the numbers are, the COVID numbers are going up again, or if they're becoming concerning, if there is another reason to feel or doubt that something is not safe for the people, then there is a good possibility that they might bring the restrictions back again. As far as the flight ban with India is concerned, if that is what you're asking, I expected it to not be extended to 21st September. So I will again maintain that I don't expect another extension to be put in place, because it just doesn't make sense anymore. The numbers in India are also reducing. On the contrary, the numbers are not, even if we go with the fact that India is underreporting the numbers, let's go with that storyline that a lot of people are talking about. Then within the country itself, a lot of places are easing restrictions. For example, Delhi has eased restrictions about the marketplaces now being open after 8 p.m. in the evening, right? If the administrations within the country itself are easing up the restrictions, then that gives you a bit of an indication that things may be getting back to normal, and it's not as bad as people are making it out to look. So I would definitely expect that the restrictions do not get further extended. It doesn't make sense. Canada definitely is losing out. There is, again, and they cannot continue going on and on and on. until how much time will you take on the burden of the debt that is being created? Until how long are you continue going to? I mean, you're going to allow businesses to get suffered, businesses who depend on international students, who depend on tourists, who depend on new people coming into the country. There are, as we said so many times, education business by itself is a $21 billion industry. The new immigrants who come to the country, they are adding into the labor force. So basically, your unemployment factors and your employment factors get taken care of. Not only that, they also bring in money with them, obviously, because they need to now make their life in Canada, so they have to spend. So in combination of that, the border restrictions are not helping. It's not like they contributed a large number of COVID cases to the trans-border infection rates, and now they have already released the border restrictions with the US. 7th September, they are expected to release the restrictions across the world for fully quarantined passengers if you are not exempt from travel restrictions. So I would expect that the border restrictions to continue being eased. But again, the number of COVID infections and how it is looking within the country, that makes a big difference. When can we expect COPR for outlands? Well, first of all, there is no such thing as outland or inland. Okay, I know we have coined this word because if you are inside Canada, inland, outside Canada, outland. But technically, by law, there is no such term as inland, outland kind of a thing. Applications for people who are outside Canada were not being finalized, obviously at a point of time, because the restrictions were in place for people who could not travel. But now that the restrictions are gone, I have been saying again that fourth quarter of this year is when I expect to see the chunk of applications being released. There was a report, there was few people, 3 to 4 people who came out on our Facebook groups and posted their timelines and who indicated that their applications, while they were outlanders, as you have said, they received their passport requests. So if that is anything to go by, then that could be the start of trickle. Mind you, New Delhi Visa Office, which is obviously a very big processing center in the Asian sector, they are still not at full force, and they've still not resumed activities at full force. They are still on essential services only. As of right now, there is a lot of drive to finalize applications for the students, international students, as well as stamping their passports and finalizing their applications so that they can get to Canada for their September intake and later, or rather at the earliest. With the passport requests, again, the accessibility, the assessment of the inadmissibility, the assessment of their medicals to check if they're still valid, not valid, do they need to be extended, not be extended. That obviously is something I feel, again, opinion, that is what is going on at this point of time. And since there are no longer restrictions, again, I will maintain that I expect to see fourth quarter when the chunks of these passport batch releases comes to be seen, and hopefully that is when we expect to see most of them getting through. Can you speak about sponsorship outside Canada, please? I'm not sure what exactly you want me to speak about. If you're asking about the processes, well, the processes are happening. Unfortunately, just like everything else, they are also affected by COVID delays. It was already disclosed through some internal documents that were obtained, that IRCC was working at a few staff, and they were really short-staffed, and people were working from home. They were not able to access a lot of things. They were not trained properly to sort of work from home, and a lot of those things were really making a big difference. And that probably has also affected a lot of applications. So just like COPRs, just like a lot of applications which are being held back, I obviously sponsorship applications outside Canada have also been affected. But to be very honest, I have seen movement, because we are seeing people getting PFLs, getting file numbers, getting medical requests, getting biometric requests. So you know that the movement is there, but obviously it's slow. But yeah, fingers crossed, I hope they sort of pick up pace as well. प्रदीप राठी जी बोल रहे हैं, कुबेर जी नमस्कार, आपको 10 साल के अनुभव वाला अध्यापक MSc 7 बैंड के साथ अगर कोई PNP में अप्लाई करता है और सफलता नहीं मिलती है, तो क्या वो 6 से 7 महीने बाद स्टडी वीजा के लिए आवेदन कर सकता है 11 साल का गैप, बिल्कुल आवेदन कर सकता है, आवेदन पत्र डाल सकता है, उसमें कोई आशंका नहीं है कि आप ये सब कर सकते हैं। आप 6 या 7 महीने के बाद क्यों कर रहे हैं, आप साथ में करिए, क्योंकि अगर आपको कोई पीएनपी नहीं समझ में आता है, नहीं मिलता है, कोई नहीं उसमें आपको कोई ऑप्शन दिखता है, हिंदी थोड़ी मेरी लंगड़ी हो गई है, बट ठीक है। Yeah, absolutely, you can apply. There is no problem with it. Even if you do not have a PNP option, even if you have an 11-year gap in your studies, you can definitely still apply for a study visa. The only premise is that you be able to satisfy the visa officer that you're a genuine bona fide student, that you will return back to your country after you complete your studies, that you're coming to Canada because you're a serious student, you have a good intention of academics, and wanting to pursue that study that you are planning to. And yeah, ties to home country, financial viability, good choice of program, and Bob's your uncle, no problem. What is a startup visa? A startup visa is when you have a good business idea, a good project idea, a good innovative idea, and you can pitch that idea to an angel investor or incubator in Canada who is designated with IRCC. They are willing to support your application. Thereby, then you will receive a support letter and you will be able to apply under the startup visa program. That is what startup visa is. Keeping the fact that there is no flight ban in Pakistan, do you think to this fact the PPRs will be issued along with Indians or early? First of all, there is no nationality wise differentiation that should Pakistanis be issued, should Indians be issued, should Nigerians be issued, should Egyptians be issued. It's not a nationality wise bias. It is only the fact of how the visa officers are processing, where the visa offices are situated, which visa office is handling which application, what is their staffing levels, and at which point of time they get the approval from the leadership. Okay, release the PPRs. I guess that is what the criteria is. It has got nothing to do with the flight bans at all. Because even with the flight bans, it's not like Indians are not traveling into Canada. The ban is not on a nationality. The ban is not on Indians to travel to Canada or Pakistani to travel to Canada. The ban is on direct flights originating from that particular place. So Indians and Pakistanis, I mean, there is no ban on any of them. So as an Indian, you can still travel from India. You will just need to come by a different route, have an RT-PCR done in a different country. Probably they don't believe the RT-PCR from India, I guess. And also by restricting the flights or by putting the direct flight ban, you are restricting the number of people who will flow into the country. So the numbers are restricted, but there is no restriction on the nationality per se, that Indians cannot come to Canada. There is no such thing. Indians can come to Canada. They are coming to Canada. They are flying in all the time. It's just that they're coming from a different route. That's all. Thank you so much for joining in. If you're still not following us on Instagram, please do. If you want to book an appointment, then that's the link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will hopefully see you next time. Take care. All the best.